Welcome back. Today we'll begin our study of the Law of Time. Our first topic is Vigesimal mathematics. Now, don't worry if you consider yourself someone who isn't good at math or who doesn't like it. Just as you can learn to use computers without understanding the binary and hexadecimal codes which are used to program them, you can learn to use the telepathic technologies based upon Vigesimal mathematics without becoming an expert in the mathematics themselves. That said, what most people experience when they begin to work with Mayan knowledge is that they are empowered as opposed to challenged, because the knowledge itself naturally improves a human's ability to grasp the realm of number. So, Vigesimal refers to the number 20. Vigesimal mathematics are at the base of all Mayan knowledge, both ancient and future. It's crucial to recognize this fact. There is a mathematical foundation underlying all of the different types of knowledge, which we will eventually discuss in this series. That said, the law of time is in no way something which can only be understood or experienced by those who are good at math. Anyone can download the telepathic technologies of the future human. Nevertheless, it's only appropriate that we would begin our study here with Vigesimal mathematics, because, again, this math is what defines the underlying structure and programming of the entire web of knowledge known as the Law of Time. So let's get to it. It'll be easier to begin working with Vigesimal math if we first talk about some other kinds of math with which we're already acquainted. The math which humans use most frequently is decimal math, based on the number 10. And our system of writing numbers is a type of positional notation, meaning that each digit in a number represents a different quantity based on its position within the number. For example, in decimal math, each digit in a number represents an exponential group of 10. We begin with the numbers 0 through 9. Reaching 10, we write it as 1, 0, and the 1 represents a group of 10. So 15 actually means one group of 10 and 5 individuals. 55 is actually 5 groups of 10 and 5 individuals. When we reach 99 and move to 100, the new digit represents 10 groups of 10. Take the example of 365. The 3 represents 3 groups of 10 times 10, or 300. The 6 represents 6 groups of 10, and the 5 are individuals. An easier way to write 10 times 10 is 10 to the second. Now we see 365 is 3 times 10 to the second, 6 times 10 to the first, and 5 times 10 to the power of 0. You may not remember this from math class as a kid. Any number to the power of 0 is 1. So 777 is actually 7 times 10 to the second, plus 7 times 10, plus 7. Let's pick a larger number, 13,441. 13441 is 1 times 10 to the fourth, 3 times 10 to the third, 4 times 10 to the second, 4 times 10 to the first, and 1 times 10 to the power of 0. That's 10,000 plus 3,000 plus 400 plus 40 plus 1. Each column in this number represents an exponential group of 10. This is decimal math, but we hardly have to think about this at all because we were programmed with this operating system when we were still children. Society also does a little bit of duodecimal math. Duodecimal means base 12. This math we see mostly when we talk about the clock. In most countries, the hours are counted from 0 to 24, but on the face of a clock, the hours start over after 12. And this means that 14:35, when we're talking about the time on a clock, is the same as 2:35 p.m. In this case, the 14 is seen as one group of 12 plus 2. Around the world, people don't have to think about it to know that 1700 hours is 5 p.m. Without realizing it, they're doing duodecimal math. This is the simple example of base 12 math in our daily lives. By now, you might have realized that math itself does not imply any particular base. Indeed, you can write numbers and make calculations with any number as the base of your mathematical system. Computer programmers often use base 16, which is called hexadecimal. And as a point of interest, the numbers 10 through 15 in the hexadecimal system are often notated with the letters A through F. Here's another mathematical system, tally marks. This is a form of base 1 mathematics. This is called Unary Math. And some ancient civilizations used sexagesimal math, base 60. The reason we're discussing all this is mostly to contextualize the nature of the Mayan knowledge base. It's a mental software program coded within reality Vigesimally. Please, however, remember what I mentioned earlier. You don't have to become an expert in Vigesimal mathematics in order to activate the higher mind functions delineated by the contemporary applications of Mayan knowledge. In this video, we're simply taking a look at the foundations upon which is built the incredible architecture of the telepathic software upgrade. So we see that in decimal math, each digit represents exponentially increasing groups of 10. In Vigesimal math, each digit represents exponentially increasing groups of 20. There are several different ways to write numbers, and many approaches to specifying the base in which a number is written. When writing Vigesimal numbers with Arabic numerals, a period is placed in between the different place values or columns in order to distinguish the numbers from their decimal twins. So while 10 is decimal notation, meaning one group of 10 and 0 individuals, 1.0 is Vigesimal notation, meaning one group of 20 and 0 individuals. 30 in decimal notation is 30, and in Vigesimal notation, 30 is 1.10, one group of 20 and 10 individuals. 40 in decimal notation is 2.0 in Vigesimal notation, two groups of 20 and 0 individuals. When we add a third digit in decimal notation, it represented 10 groups of 10, or 100. When we add a third digit in Vigesimal notation, it represents 20 groups of 20, or 400. Another column would signify 20 groups of 400, or 20 to the power of 3, meaning 8,000. The next digit would correspond to 20 to the power of 4, groups of 160,000. Just as you can go up to 9 before moving to the next column in decimal mathematics, we must go to 19 before raising the number in the next column in Vigesimal mathematics. Take a look. 1.0 is 20 plus 0. 1.19 is 20 plus 19, for a total of 39. 2.0 is 2 times 20 plus 0, which is 40. So we went from 1.19 to 2.0 in Vigesimal code, from 39 to 40 in decimal. Let's check out another example. 19.19 is 19 groups of 20 plus 19 individuals, for a total of 399. 1.0.0 is 1 times 20 to the second, 0 times 20, and 0 individuals, for a total of 400. After 19.19, which equals 399, the next number in Vigesimal notation requires a new digit, 1.0.0, or 400. Although initially advanced for a human mind programmed exclusively to decimal frequencies, the system is relatively simple, and it becomes much simpler once we start using dot bar notation, although this too is initially a shock for the conditioned mind. With Arabic numerals, we use 10 symbols to write the numbers 0 through 9. The Mayan system of number writing is called dot bar notation. Dot bar notation is extremely succinct and elegant, using only 3 symbols, a 0, a dot, and a bar. In dot bar notation, each dot represents 1. A bar signifies a group of 5. So the numbers 6 through 9 are written with a bar and up to 4 dots above it. 10 then is 2 bars, and so on. We continue in this way until we get to 19, which is 3 bars and 4 dots. 3 groups of 5 plus 4. Reaching 20, remember that in Vigesimal notation, 20 is written as 1.0. And in dot bar notation, we write this vertically instead of horizontally. So you can see that the 0 is a circle with a horizontal line through it. 23 is 1.3. Let's move on to larger numbers. Do you remember that 400 in Vigesimal notation is 1.0.0? That's one group of 20 squared plus 0 groups of 20 plus 0 individuals. In dot bar notation, 400 looks like this. (401) is 1.0.1, like this. (444) is 1.2.4. And so on. 20 times 20 times 20, or 20 to the power of 3, is 8,000. In Vigesimal notation, that's 1.0.0.0. You can see that Vigesimal math quickly gets us into larger and more complex numbers. But I have to stress, for a third and final time, that you don't have to become an expert in this particular study or be innately good at math in order to learn about, explore, and experience postmodern mind knowledge. In the next few videos, we will be addressing topics which are much lighter on the mathematics and much more applicable to our daily lives. But again, the reason that this discussion is the first to follow the introduction is because Vigesimal mathematics are the matrix through which the enormous body of knowledge known as the Law of Time was discovered. If you feel that there's anything in this video which you didn't fully grasp, that's quite all right. Move on to other topics as you so desire. If you do wish to dive deeper into Vigesimal mathematics and dot bar notation, there's a link for a PDF of a beginner's workbook in the info below. Think of it this way. If the law of time were an expansive house with innumerable corridors and chambers, what we've discussed today would be the wood, metal, and stone that give form and structure to the building. You don't see the foundation or the framework of the house, but fundamentally it is the very nature and essence of the construction. In upcoming videos, we'll turn our attention toward several topics within the law of time which are immediately applicable and psychologically transformative. The Mayan mental upgrade involves many forms of play which expand the human consciousness into previously unarticulated realms of telepathy, planetary consciousness, and interplanetary synchronization. This is Solar Dreamer, signing off. I work in humble hope of service toward the future of Earth and of Earthlings. Please receive my gratitude, and above all, my love.